Reminiscent of the curse that began with demise, Nintendo has achieved multiple revitalizations. Time to track, to monitor, and commemorate the resilience in an ever-changing industry. You are hereby initiated into Rated Exploited. When transitioning the Famicom into the Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo took the appliance approach, marketing outside of the toy variety, as expected of game consoles prior to 1985. Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt are the perfect pack-in, pick up and play, and fully accessible. In fact, it was the first side-scroller for many players. It's a fascinating retrospect, harkening back where gaming was truly brought back to life. Nintendo made a gamble, taking their first major risk within the medium. It's difficult to make a comparison to other consoles on the market, even around this era. Nintendo truly had the biggest influence, strengthened by their exclusive game library. In a polarized perspective, the entirety of gaming's landscape would not exist without Tennis for Two, a thriven success, non-existent without this 1985 console. On the advent of Sony entering the market with the dominance of PlayStation 1, they embraced a maturing gaming audience. Kids were now becoming teens and young adults. Nintendo struggled with their own limitations. Though the N64 is of greater processing power, it could not hold the capacity compared to the CD format utilized by PlayStation. The transitional era, as I've implemented by nickname, fits the definition of quality over quantity. The N64 library filled with iconic games. Neglecting the varied array of games and genres, various N64 titles set a benchmark. Standardizations carried in to 3D gaming, developing the primal influence of 3D design, so influential. The coding and mechanics are lost in modern design, but never forgotten. Yes, Nintendo fell into second place this era, struggling in the following generation with the GameCube. But this only conditioned Nintendo to change course, going boldly in a new direction. Primary example of deviating in a bold direction from both competition and gaming audience. Appealing and drawing the casual gamers, those outside demographic, harnessing the full gamut of kids to adults. I relate. When I bought my Wii in the height of its scarcity, my easily approachable gameplay draws attention. From me creator into Wii Sports, I never made an invitational effort. The games draw by interactive visuals alone. Nintendo nailed it, broadening their audience by making gaming accessible by pick up and play mentality, comparable to another game and console that would later redeem them once again. The Nintendo DS kicked off the transitional era of gaming, as I've nicknamed Generation 7. It remains a personal favorite, an extensive library of games I absolutely adore, with their intuitive controls, varied between touch gameplay and full motion control. As GameCube fell behind its predecessor and current competitor of the PlayStation 2, Nintendo plotted going on a tangent in a foreign direction even their competitors had not risked. A gaming gamble difficult to comprehend. The casual market, appealing to those outside the medium, to people who had never picked up a controller. With the revolution of the Wii, see what I did there? They simplified the OS, going minimal in the design of console and controller, focusing on the motor movement, previously seen only on the obscure side of gameplay. Now, motion controls are helmed and directly integral in the iconic name of Nintendo. This adaptable identity empowered Nintendo. New eyes were grabbed and attention. Heads turned. The Wii went on to dominate the transcendent era. From personal experience, I found the last one within GameStop in the climax of its popularity. Psyched I was when I brought it home. In perspective, I got to see the effect of Nintendo's marketing and approach on people outside gaming. My own family liked what they saw, seeing the simplicity of gameplay and full harnessing of motion controls. Everybody wanted this console. It went on to be a new redemption for Nintendo. The sale numbers prove the statistic, going above Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. For the first time, I witnessed people take up gaming on a minimal but effective level. Those who never cared and saw it as a simple waste of time. People excessively scrutinized over Mii Creator, using them in-game, debating on which features matched their facials accurately. This proved Nintendo wasn't just grasping a new market, let alone their second resurrection. They brought a new look on gaming, on the level of family dynamic. Here in 2025, as a worker in retail, many people come into the shop and even call about 7th gen gaming, asking about Wii games, accessories, and especially peripherals, such as the Guitar Hero guitars. I fully embrace Gen 7 as an ultimate favorite. Before and since, the transcendent era has affected me on an exclusive level. It's truly when gaming evolved beyond screen and controller, interactivity, going meta, breaking the fourth wall. Yes, I do wish gaming expanded upon the implementation of motion controls and touchscreen, but optimistically, Gen 7 has the identity of going beyond, carrying the variety of button input. Perhaps this type of play figures into the failure of its successor. Wii U, a console that tanked in sales, with a limited game library and an expensive, unappealing OS. The console has failed to earn my hatred. It has incredible features and gameplay options, but all of it feels abandoned and neglected. It's even referred to as Nintendo's Dark Age. I'd say it's an accurate assessment, but the console isn't all bad. Truly, I believe it suffered from a lack of compelling games that didn't take advantage of the Wii U's features, hardware, and software. Unlike its predecessor and success of the Wii U had a difficult time marketing outside the Nintendo fanbase. I was never in confusion, as I knew it was a whole new console, not just a new controller for the prior rendition. Naturally, I escaped the delusion of it being nothing more than a new controller. The limited amount of games hindered my infatuation. I continued in anticipation, hoping Nintendo could turn the console around. Sony pulled off such a redemption with the PS3, with a full rebrand and redesign leading into the slim variant. Nintendo has maintained its history, having the underpowered console within each consecutive generation, as early as the NES. The Wii U's processing is on par with PS3 and 360, in one generation late that I have nicknamed the Illusionary Era. In the failed follow-up to the Wii, Nintendo is in need of a hard reset. Rumors abounded. Mock-ups appeared online. The codename NX thrown around between speculation of the fans. Then, October 20th, 2016, arrived with Nintendo building hype of a new announcement. The initiation of the follow-up. The redemption required. I was there. Day 1, 2017. I have nicknamed this generation, number 9, as the ubiquitous era, praising the accessibility and boundary-breaking crossplay to all points of the planet. But is this the reset Nintendo craved to maintain their status in the console market? No chat features, no accessory Bluetooth outside the box. The console has a flimsy kickstand, a portmanteaued cover for the SD slot. Many concerns are brought up. Will it be as capable in handheld? Are the Joy-Cons too small, to a diminutive level, making gaming uncomfortable, especially for the adult hands? Upon that fateful midnight launch, the Switch becomes the most successful hybrid console, climbing out of the pit dug by the Wii U. Full functionality of merging the console with the handheld. Every developer, from indie to AAA, works hard to get their games on this console as instantly as possible. Nintendo fully embraced the hardware and features they developed from their prior iterations. Everything they had learned into the Switch, prioritizing gaming over any additional medium. And it worked. Launch day is adequate, showing various options quite ideal for a new console. Mario Odyssey obviously getting great reviews, maintaining consistency in launching a first-party Nintendo game. As an individual who's part of various niche fandoms, I also love 1-2 Switch. I've also been into Legend of Zelda since the 90s, but how can I expect anything good out of Breath of the Wild? I found out years ago they're abandoning the plot structure set by A Link to the Past. To bring forth a new identity is a gamble of warding off the fans. Look what happened when Resident Evil 6 prioritized action over order, trying to appeal to the wide fandom of Call of Duty. And I'm not alone in this concern. Concerns about Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Zelda has finally lost its way. Why are Nintendo fans so afraid of change? How can Zelda fans enjoy a Zelda that abandons so many integral elements? Nintendo, you are taking a big risk, but now you're setting up yourselves for failure in drastic alteration of a flagship franchise. I adore the series. Now, Nintendo is running it into the ground with Wii U. How can we expect the Switch to pick up any slack, launching its variant on the same day? This is truly the end. A doomed decision, assured to retroactively enact your end. I salute your passing memorandum. Thank you for the gamer's upbringing only you can provide. Hold up.
Reality.
Breath of the Wild blows fans' expectations. Sales surpass every prior entry in the franchise. The industry is shaken up by a whole new approach to open world gaming. Millions of new, first-time players approach Legend of Zelda. The game breaks the stagnation of modern open world games. Nintendo excels, achieving the top honor, earning merit as the 2017 Game of the Year. Simplified mechanics, reciprocate the game physics. True freedom without limitation. No two players approach it identically. The Legend of Zelda franchise achieved its Goldfinger game with A Link to the Past. The reference here is the third 007 film, Goldfinger, the film that set the gold standard, no pun intended, of every consecutive James Bond film. This is exactly what the Super Nintendo release did for The Legend of Zelda. This format and structure carries into the Quartercentennial, the 25th anniversary of the franchise, and this is where it concluded, with Skyward Sword being the final game to adapt the formula. By statistical sales, various game developers would look at Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, and even Skyward Sword as profitable success. But Nintendo took the declining sales seriously. A disciplined mentality of adapting the successor into a new formula. Despite the achievements of Nintendo reverberating through the industry to this day, how they've influenced so many fans to become gamers themselves,